Okay. All right.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's still not moving. Wait, it's still not moving though.
But do you hear it?
You do? As long as you hear me, it's fine.
Okay.
I can't hear you though.
Oh, you can't hear because he's not online yet.
Okay.
Right? You're both. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why is it that I could hear him at all during this time?
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. Have us muted.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
You're not on stage. I don't have my Black History fact yet, but I'll have it.
Girl,
Yeah.
forget about it.
The mic sounds nice. Check one. I hear you now.
Okay.
Who says that?
Several people.
Oh,
We can hear. Good morning, good morning, and welcome to Let It Be Known. I am your host. Sometimes this is this is the Black Presses morning show.
Peace and love, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. I'm Miel, your co-pilot, and we're going to jump into some trending topics and most importantly, the headlines that are impacting the Black experience. Stacey, let's get it.
You want to get it?
Let's
Do you
get
really
it.
want to do it? Are we really about to do it?
We're really about to do
Listen,
it.
we are RNG on CB time, but so are you. RNG just coming in. He usually here like 7:10, so he's later than us. So don't start out there in New Orleans. Anyway, we're gonna have at some point this morning the Black trivia for you guys, and I want some right answers because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna know the answer. It's not even a roll of the dice anymore.
Right. You're not going to know the answer because we don't know the question yet. Give it time. Give it time.
I have to tell you, these Los Angeles people. We're in the nation's capital this week, folks. So we got a lot going on. We got to bring you a lot of stuff. So keep tuning in to Let It Be Known. But here we are once again. So much news, and some people say, "Okay, how much of this Trump stuff can we bring you?" And it's just too much.
Yeah, but we have to only bring the stuff that's impacting us. I mean, it all impacts us, but there are some things that we definitely have to highlight because we have to let our people know.
Well, it's like that thing you guys shared. I saw it this morning. Marjorie Taylor Greene with the signs, and she's promoting insider trading, and it's alleged that she's been doing insider trading as well.
And another one about the immigrant who is a US citizen and how the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration, well, Trump Klan administration has to bring him back, and they're not. But what really spooked me was I saw that they are trying to set a precedent so that when they send citizens over to El Salvador or whatever other prisons they're creating, that they don't have to bring us back. And I think that that is really important for us to know about because if they set a precedent to where they don't have to bring us back, then where does it leave us? First, they want to bring us over here on slave ships. Now they want to deport us to other countries that we don't. I mean, what is up with these white people, Stacey?
See, that's where we need the music right now. You can't trust it. That's what we need right now. Um, but it's funny because the president of El Salvador came to the U.S. this past weekend, and he is meeting or has met. I haven't gotten the update, but he's supposed to be meeting with Trump. And Trump has he does want to send American citizens to that prison there. The Supreme Court did rule that that young man from Maryland must be they must bring him back. But the Trump administration, even after the Supreme Court made its ruling last Friday, saying, "Well, we don't know if we can bring him back."
What they're trying to do is set a precedent, because if they adhere to the Supreme Court ruling and bring them back, then they have no power. Their power right now is being defiant and not following the rule of law. And that should really scare the American people. And it should scare Black folks more so than anybody, because we know what white folks are capable of more than anybody else. We know. And so if they are not going to bring this man back, just think of what they can do to us, you know? And so these are the things that, although to your point, Tracy, as you were saying, is so much, we have to be able to cipher through all of the madness that this Klan is creating and really talk about the things that can really impact us, because we don't even know if they've already done it to somebody, because we really don't know what they're doing. And the only way that we know is when the people bring the smoke. But just imagine if they were to go scoop up a homeless person.
Well, who's to say that they haven't scooped up a homeless person? Yeah, you're right.
Point, yeah.
Mhm. Well, here's something else too. Think about this. Florida lawmakers are considering major changes to the state labor, child labor laws that loosens restrictions on when and how long teenagers can work. And this is all because of the migrant worker shortage. And somebody put this thing in this right perspective, and there's a really, in a really great way. And it was the Thomas Kennedy, who's the spokesperson for the Florida Immigration Coalition. He said um, that they have made the state hostile to immigrants. He says they deported a bunch of people or scared people into not coming or moving out of the state. They exacerbated worker shortages. So now they're trying to gut child labor protection standards while at the same time passing a law that would allow them to classify these children and other workers as interns. You see what's going on there?
It's just a lot of confusion and just uneducated, unqualified white folks making decisions that they have no business making or trying to make. And then when you were talking about that, I thought about how, like, especially all these progressive white folks are always talking about child labor in third world countries. We have to stop it. And here we are in Florida having a similar conversation. And we know that white folks never tell us the devil in the detail. And so, once again, the Trump clan is not moving us forward, but moving us backwards.
The plan ever to move us forward?
It's to move them forward. It's always been to move them forward. We've always had to advocate for ourselves to move forward.
Um, Folks should also know this, and you're talking about Black folks. This Real ID situation, it kicks in on May the 7th. And folks, what that means, a Real ID is not a standard driver's license or not a state ID. It's no longer going to allow you to fly even domestically. You're not even going to be able to get through airport security checks if you don't have a Real ID. And what is a Real ID? Somebody asks, it's a federally compliant state issued driver's license, learner's permit, or non driver ID. They are marked with stars. Generally, they are gold or black and vary in appearance. Now, I'm not going to give I've seen some videos online about Christy Nome and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump. This is their thing. It's not their thing. They're just now going to enforce it. And this was done after 9/11, and a lot of states just did not. Um, push it. And now I know under the Biden administration, they did push real ID. And now the Trump administration is going to enforce it. Now, the reason why they're going to enforce it is simply because it's another way of trying to suppress people and get people. This is like, for instance, we talked about the voter laws, right? Well, the real ID, one of the problems, especially for women, is the fact that they change. Many women have gotten married, changed their names, or whatever. Women hyphenate their names much more than men. Men rarely hyphenate their names, so they want to make it a problem. And it really comes down for the Trump folks. It does. Let's face it. It comes down to voter suppression.
Issue coming out of the Trump clan, but I do remember that it kept getting pushed back. I know during COVID they pushed it back like 3 or 4 times. I'm not sure if this is a good or bad thing. It really wasn't an issue for me. Just that we wanted to have more of a universal practice of having a standard ID for TSA. I don't, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I just, have to set up an appointment, and I know I have to do it because when is it? It takes effect next month. Yeah, so we all have to head to the DMV, and I would encourage you to make an appointment. You make an appointment, it may take you less than 45 minutes. Make an appointment, just buy your lunch, take it in there, get you a good book, and be prepared to sit and wait.
Well, yeah. So make sure you get it, because it's just another problem for Black folks, that if Black folks and women, if you don't have it, it just gives them more reason to give you a problem. And TSA, for instance, is eventually he's going to eliminate TSA. So this is really interesting. The reason why they wanted to do the real ID in the first place, those hijackers, those terrorists from 9/11, they had American driver's license. And so they were able to somehow get an American driver's license, forged apparently. But this is part of, well, this was a big reason why way back in the Bush administration, Bush Jr., that they wanted to do this real ID stuff. So here we are.
Because if they can come over here illegally, they can get passports illegally. I'm sure they can get a federal ID legally. But okay, y'all, okay. Yeah, there was a lawmaker that wants to, by 2028, remove TSA federal workers and have a private security agency come in. And I'm just real leery about private security, private anything coming in under a Trump administration, because we know and we don't know what the ramifications are of that happening. And so if you see, this is where, we've been talking about, where does the power lie? Trump has all the power. No, the power still relies in the people. So when we see things like this rising up, it's important that we call our lawmakers and say, hey, we want to keep TSA. We want federal workers to keep their jobs. We don't want private companies coming in and mandating how we run our airport system. And so this is a time, a call to action. Instead of being reactive, let's start being proactive.
Which is being done almost irreversible, though, or at least it's going to be not reversible for decades and decades to come, no matter who they put in office. And that is really part of the point. And if you read Project 2025, that was the whole idea. Mike V says, I've had my real ID since 2019. And Dr. Joni says the real ID won't be accepted for voting purposes. And that's where the voter suppression will happen. And this is a shame. Orange G says he had to change his military ID card because of the real ID law. He can't use his military ID to fly. What happened to thank you for your service? What happened? Not under Trump. Of course, he makes fun of military folks. So I guess it just doesn't matter. I think too, you're probably going to see less and less people wanting to sign up for the military under this situation. I think, in fact, I know by various reports and various things that you forget the military, they're doing militia all around the country. People are arming themselves. They're getting prepared for war within Civil War.
And somehow they've made Black folks feel like we shouldn't own guns. The Second Amendment right is for us too. And I'm gonna just leave that there. It's for us too.
I think you have some guns, don't you? I can see you armed and particularly dangerous. Yes, I can see that. Um, as she sits expressionless, I'm not tipping my hand.
All I'm gonna say, the Second Amendment right is for us too. Okay, it is.
She packing, y'all. She packing. I wouldn't mess with her. A pregnant Black woman in Texas felt unjustly treated by local law authorities after receiving a ticket for walking on the wrong side of the road. Now, check this out. If we have that video, her husband was white and he didn't get a ticket, and he was filming everything, and he was talking about how this is racism. And her name is Akia Towns. She was walking down Madison Boulevard to find her dog on April the 9th. While searching, two policemen driving down the street stopped her 2 houses from her residence. They pulled over when they saw her. They approached her and informed her that she was committing a, quote, traffic violation and would receive a ticket. Like she said in that video, apparently we don't have the video right now, but what she said was, okay, my house is right here. So I can just go inside my house, or I could turn around because they said she was walking the wrong way, like on the wrong side of the street. I could turn around and walk all the way back there, go across, and do all that whole thing. And they wasn't trying to hear it. The husband kept saying, this is racism. She's walking while Black. And they kept telling the husband, no, that's not it. That's not it. And he says, yeah, it is it. You have nothing else better to do than to stop this Black pregnant woman who is 2 doors from her house. Because you're saying she's walking down the wrong street, the wrong way. She's walking the wrong way.
Yeah, they say that the law is that you have to be walking the opposite way of traffic. So if traffic is coming this way, you need to be walking this way on that side of the street. And so she was walking with the flow of traffic.
What's the violation?
Can't walk while being Black in Groves.
That is not true. I'm showing you the traffic
Can't
violation.
walk while being Black in Groves.
She was not walking on this side of the
What
road.
does it matter?
It's a traffic violation.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's in the traffic code. I'm showing you,
It's
sir.
not a traffic violation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Are you detained? Oh, she's detained for being Black and walking in Groves.
She was walking on the wrong side of the road. We're trying to tell you guys.
Walking while Black in Groves. Yeah, I'm her husband. She's walking while Black in Groves.
I live right there. So I can't even walk 10 steps without getting stopped by the cop.
Walking while being Black in Groves. That's what they're gonna do to you.
Color of your skin has nothing to do with it.
Apparently it does.
If you want to make it a racial thing, that's on you, okay?
No, that's
You're
on
more than
y'all.
welcome to.
That's on y'all.
I
So
just got a ticket for walking on the wrong side.
it's
of the road.
okay. Don't worry about it.
All you had to say was, "Hey, man, you're on the wrong side of the road." I could explain to you. I'm just looking at the phone for my dog. I was, because I could have turned around. I could have turned around.
First and foremost, the fact that cop felt unjustified and tried to explain this and that shows you that how wrong that was. But another thing you notice, right? There were 4 that we could see on that body cam video. 4 officers for this lady, who looked like she no more than 5'2", probably weigh about 135 pounds, if that. And you got 4 officers because she's allegedly walking on the wrong side of the street or what. It's just, come on, call it what it is. It would be more refreshing, not refreshing, but more understandable if they just came out and said, yeah, because you Black. Just say it.
That was a, being Black in America story. Welcome. And this is why other countries are all on TikTok are laughing at us, because we were supposed to be the model, the standard of what democracy looks like, what everybody wanted to be a part of, and now we're the butt of the joke, and we just look like victims of the Klan.
Well, and here's the thing, what's interesting. So we know that Donald Trump wants to and will um, give law enforcement a carte blanche to do whatever they want. But he's also, at the same time, this man has shown disdain for law enforcement as well. And he is also, you know, 9/11, not 9/11, but January 6th was a real big thing where law enforcement was under such siege, and we've seen all types of footages, documentaries, and everything. We saw that at least what 5 of them eventually either lost or took their own life because of that. And then he gave the aggressors, the folks who committed these crimes, he gave them a get out of jail free card, and it's a real interesting dichotomy there. You know, he doesn't like you, but he's okay with you violating folks' rights. There's no rights according to him. No one has rights according to him. Remember, he said that the president is the law. He's the only one that can determine what the law is. So
Mm. Well, let's head over to Houston. There's a trending story. The Houston Police Department have confirmed at least 10 bodies found inside the Richardson mortuary on Friday were laying on the ground and on cardboard. Now, a viral video posted by David Magruder has gone viral. Greer, do we have that clip to show? It's the link is in the script. But it's a viral video posted on social media. It shows the bodies of loved ones. It is a horrific video. We're getting it ready for you to show you. And after the video was posted, more families went up to the mortuary and they were just in dismay, Stacy. It is horrific. Take a look at this. Look at that.
See, man, these people family members. Y'all family members up here in this building with no AC. They're not taking care of. Man, y'all took on y'all people, man. Richardson Memorial Services. Bro, they just got people in these caskets in this building being worked on. Doors wide open. Bro, if y'all got people, check on them. Door wide open, bro. They doing construction on this building. It's over here on Fuquay. It's called Richardson Memorial.
Now,
Y'all got people, man, at this memorial home.
You see the bodies now. The mortuary is owned by Michael Bell, and police are saying that he has been in the hospital for since earlier in the year, and this is probably why this is happening. But you saw the bodies on the table, Stacey.
because he's in the hospital, what does that mean? Don't he's not the only one that works there, right?
Police are saying.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just reporting what we
Now,
say.
I heard the man say they were bodies that they're still working on. Right, I heard that's horrible. It's. But I heard him say bodies that they are working on, meaning what? They're being embalmed or something.
So why he went there because his mother was supposed to be in their care. I mean, and so this
How
is
do
what's
they even
happening.
work there under those conditions? I mean, they're doing the whatever construction work. How do you even do that?
Well, the story has gone viral. The story has gone viral, and police are investigating it. The owner, Michael Bell, is in the hospital, and so this is a developing story. We will continue to follow it, but that's what's coming out of Houston right now.
Even in the chat, folks are like, "Wow."
Yeah, that's deep, really deep, because that's like one of the most horrific things you can find out, especially as you're mourning and you're in the process and you trust somebody to take care of your loved one. And just imagine going to a mortuary and finding your loved one just sitting on a table.
And
In
look at
the
that.
heat.
I'm sorry, but look, the Trixie says apparently she's up on this story. The lady in the blue that we saw was supposed to have been cremated on March the 31st. Her daughter spoke out and said that she didn't find out until she saw this video.
I saw that video as well, and I'm saying, like, once David Magruder posted that, families began to go up to the mortuary and find out what was really going on with their loved ones.
Man, grief.
Horrific.
Mm. Wow, this is America.
Continue to track that story and find out, because I know a lot of people want to hear from the owner, Michael Bell. So we wish him well. We hope he gets well. But sir, you got a lot of you got a lot of things to answer for.
It's just we've been doing this. We've been doing news. I have been in this business 30 years. You've been in it a long time. Greer's been in it a long time. It is like one of those things where you just wonder, if you've ever wondered, I should say, about people with not having a bottom. There are too many people walking the streets of America that don't have a bottom, including those who are leading America, that don't have a bottom. It just tells you, folks. What do you say, Molly girl? We in trouble.
In trouble.
I know.
But we do have some headline quickies that we want to jump into. This week is Black Maternal Health Week 2025. Now, it actually started on Friday and it'll run through the 17th of this week. So, Black Maternal Health Week is a week-long campaign led by the Black Mamas Matter Alliance, and it raises awareness, activism, and community building to address the disparities in Black maternal health outcomes. So, from now until the 17th, we'll be bringing you stories about the important issue concerning Black women. And I know your favorite, but not so favorite Congresswoman, Stacey Lauren Underwood. She is the champion and has helped raise Black maternal health to a national level. I know in California, we passed the Momnibus bill, and Lauren Underwood is trying to pass it on a federal level.
Well, I'm going to shout out as a personal thing to my oldest daughter, Ricky, who is a doula and works so hard and to advocate for the health of Black mothers everywhere, and her company out in Nevada, and also her independent work out there out west, and she really does a tremendous job with this maternal health things. She's a mother of two herself, and I'm really proud of the fact that she has taken on this mission, because sometimes it's a thankless mission too, but she really believes in it, and all those who are like her, and there's many like her, doulas around the country, who are, because the Black maternal mortality rate, the Black maternal health, it's something that is not, it's talked about, but it can never be talked about enough.
Right, exactly. I know that a lot of Black women now are really being advocates of their body. One of the national stories we heard was coming out of Serena Williams, when she had to advocate for her body. And so, studies show that when Black people are cared for by Black people, they have a better sense of healthcare, and healthcare is better for them. And so, this is a story that we will continue to talk about. Amplify doulas, like your daughter. I know Erica Badu is also a doula, and she delivers babies as well, interestingly enough. And so, yeah, we'll talk about it. And hopefully, we can get some of the lawmakers on to talk about what they're doing in Congress and on state levels to amplify maternal health for Black women. All
But
right.
but wait, that's Serena Williams' story though, right? Because we covered it when it was happening, and I always found one of the things she said, and she didn't need to say it, but it stands out. She has all this fame, she has all this money, and yet she still got the same mediocre care that Black women experience everywhere. Simply simply because she's black. And if it wasn't for her self-advocating, she would have died.
Why this week is so important, so that we can amplify these stories and talk about the importance of Black maternal health. As we know, the it's a study. Well, I'll talk about that study tomorrow. I'll talk about it tomorrow because it'll tie into that. But let's move over to some faith. Bishop J. Drew Sheard was recently installed for another term as presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ, also affectionately known as the Kojic faith family. Now, his inauguration and installation was held last week at Temple of Deliverance Church in Memphis, the mecca of Black churches. And it was at the former church of the late Bishop G.E. Patterson. Now, if you don't know, Bishop Sheard is the husband of Karen Clark Sheard of the legendary Clark sisters. He's also the father of Kiki Sheard. And Bishop Sheard has vowed for this term to focus on fostering spiritual revival, social justice, youth empowerment, and global missions. Now, the Church of God in Christ is the largest Black Pentecostal denomination in the U.S. And Bishop Sheard is the pastor of a mega church in Detroit. And so this is huge news. He got reelected. I know the church folks out there know when it's time to elect the bishops, it's a lot of campaigning. It's a lot of lobbying going on. It's just like electing the president in your own faith world. And so we congratulate Bishop Sheard and we look forward to his leadership. He's also a member of the Black Church PAC. And we had Bishop Leah Daughtry on. And what they do is they really are outside the four walls of the church and they're all about social justice. So congratulations to the Sheard family. All right, now let's move on to Gayle King. Some say she was tone deaf this weekend. Let's take a look. Can we see that? Yeah.
Here's something I never thought I'd see. Me in an astronaut suit. But I like it. You know what makes this official? It says King. That would be me. I love this shade of blue. Who knew? I thought yellow was my favorite color. Sarah, do we get to keep it?
You get to keep it.
You can die having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl.
See that girl.
Watch her see. Forget the dancing queen.
Now, a lot of people say she was told. I mean, like with everything, girl, Gayle. Okay, but anyway, Gayle heads off to space with Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, Katy Perry. It's a whole women's flight on this ship that is owned by Jeff Bezos, and it costs millions to travel to space. So she's going on a leisure trip to space, and the trip will be about 11 minutes. And so, she leaves she blasts off in about 3 hours.
Yeah, you know those astronauts that just came back, they were stuck out there for like almost a year. Gayle and them can stay out there for at least a year. I hope the same fate happens to. It's like you said, it's tone deaf. Listen, you move on. You take it from there.
It was just so tone deaf to me. And I mean, I'm a Gayle King fan, but girl, come on, sister. All right, we're going to move right along. Today, the WNBA will hold its draft at the Shed at Hudson Yard in New York. Now, the WNBA will begin announcing the picks of the 3-round draft at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, following a draft countdown show starting at 7. And they're both are airing on ESPN. And of course, the number one pick, Paige Beckers of UConn, is one of the 16 players who have been invited to attend.
Presumptive number one pick.
She is the number one pick.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I mean, well,
She's
you want to bet?
No, I have no doubt that she will go unless some sort of shocking move happens. And you never know, because Kobe was supposed to be number one, but when he said he was not going to play for anybody except Los Angeles, who didn't have the first pick, he dropped to like number 16, and then he was traded to the Lakers. He got his way eventually. So you always got to use the term presumptive.
Well, all of the headlines, including the Associated Press, are calling her the number one pick. So you can call it presumptive pick, but she is named the number one pick. Okay.
That is bad journalism.
I mean, okay.
What if she dies today?
This is another story. Let's move on to the NBA. Now, I don't know if you saw this story, Stacey. This was a juicy one. So, Isaiah Thomas did not appreciate LeBron James coming on the court pregame with the do-rag and no shirt. Take a look at this. Well, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Isaiah Thomas and a lot of other retired NBA players did not appreciate it.
Shirts and skins is what they're doing it that way.
I just totally 100% object to this. And if I was the GM or coach,
Me too.
I would never let one of my players walk out on the floor looking like this. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We ain't summer league. We ain't, you know, at the YMCA.
Listen, I think coaches got to go back to suits.
Absolutely.
I just mean
absolutely. You know, I just think
college and pro.
I just think the professionalism in our NBA league has diminished so much. And I look, I like LeBron. I'm a fan of his, so forth and so on. But to walk out on the floor before a game with no shirt on and shoot, I mean, come on, man. Where we at? What we doing? Where we at? Now, if you want to, Adam Silver, if you want to find somebody, find that. Put a fine on that.
Tonight, LeBron James going to play the game like this. Shirts and skins is what they're doing it that way.
So a couple of things. Was there people in attendance during this workout? That's that to me that counts. Because I know that, like, when I go to Madison Square Garden, I'm like one of the first people in the arena because I want to see the workouts, right? I want to see the shoot arounds and stuff like that. So if there are, even if they are concession people that sell the candy and the sodas and what in there, I 100% agree with Isaiah Thomas. And I think Isaiah Thomas's bigger point was not simply because he was out there shirtless in a do-rag, but the professionalism. People keep talking about the NBA losing audience, losing followers. This is all a part of it. And that professionalism that the NBA once stood for, it seems to be totally out the window. And this was just something to really highlight that, help highlight just how unprofessional this league has become. Now, most people won't have a problem. They say he's just warming up.
Well, no, I think the bigger issue is, and I agree with what you're saying, the bigger issue is LeBron has become bigger than the NBA. And that's the issue. And I've always been a huge LeBron fan. I've loved the way that he has taken his career in his own hands and dominated the NBA with his brand. But now it just seems like he thinks he's bigger than the game. And he's and as a leader, you know, is that the precedent that you want to set for your son? Is that the precedent that you want to set for the entire NBA league? Is that you could just go out there and do whatever you want? It might be time for LeBron to, I don't want to say it, but it might be time for him to step down. Because he has become bigger than the game. And you can't do that, LeBron. Like, too many people look up to you. That and this isn't a dig at you. It's just like, come on, bro, chill. You're still a member of the NBA. You're not the NBA. You are a member of the NBA. And just be more respectful. I mean, I get it. I love Stacey. I love when LeBron left Cleveland and how the coach was pissed at him because he went to Miami and who does he think he is? I thought that was such a pivotal moment of showing that you can own your career. But now, like your son, you put your son on the team, you knew he wasn't ready, you know, you're coming on the court with no shirt on. Everything he does is Anthony Davis, you got rid of him and said that you didn't and you did. Just everything is just becoming too much about LeBron and not about the NBA.
I hear what you're saying. The one little nugget I'm going to disagree with you on is the whole pivotal thing when he left Cleveland. And the reason Now I'm going to disagree with that. Is because once again it shows no respect given to the author of free agency, the one who made these players, who made the way for these players to make the millions, the multi-millions of dollars they can to move up, be able to move teams. A guy named Kurt Flood back in 1973 challenged the establishment, and that was in Major League Baseball. No sport had free agency, not one. And Kurt Flood said, "You are not. I'm not a slave." This is what Kurt Flood said. "I am not a slave. I am not going to. You're not going to trade me to whoever you want to trade me to, and you're going to pay me what I'm worth." And that led to a big court fight all the way to the Supreme Court. And Major League Baseball finally caved, and free agency became a thing, and other sports followed, and everybody got rich, and no one pays homage to Kurt Flood. In fact, a baseball player named Vince Coleman, 20 years later, as a free agent, signed a huge contract, and somebody asked Vince Coleman, what do you say about Kurt Flood? He didn't even know who Kurt Flood was. And it was Kurt Flood who paved the way for all of you athletes, LeBron James and all of y'all, to make the money that y'all are making today. So that's number one.
So I just
No,
said,
no, you
yeah,
didn't say it was a
yeah,
You didn't.
yeah, yeah.
But folks are getting on Isaiah Thomas too, because they said, the bad boys, when he played with the Pistons, it was like blood. They were out for blood. And basically the NBA was that when Isaiah and them played. They just did it more brutal and better. I do not hold that against Isaiah Thomas and or even Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, and those guys. I couldn't stand Bill Laimbeer, but they played the game better than everybody else played it. So folks who are saying Isaiah has no room to talk have no clue what they're really saying.
Or like you have no idea if you're talking about Isaiah Thomas. I mean, that was like during the Lakers Showtime era, the Boston Celtics, you had the Pistons. Like that's when everybody couldn't wait to watch the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just a totally different game. And it's more about personality than it is what's happening on the court. And I think that hurts the game as well. It's all about, the name Anthony Davis. Like just last week, he was shooting a free throw and the crowd was yelling child support. And he kind of chuckled at it. It was funny, but it's like it's too much personality. Like what's his name? Jay Morant. And that's what Isaiah Thomas was referencing when he talked about telling the commissioner, why don't you worry about that? Because come on, we understand what that means. If you're playing and you're competitive, it's just like Angel Reese and this, it's not too much of a difference.
The Ja Morant thing is so disappointing. He's so talented. He stays in trouble. And it's so disappointing that there's no one around him, apparently no one around him, as young as he is, as talented as he is, to help this young man walk a straighter path than what he's been walking. He's headed for, it looks like he's headed for one of those endings that you're going to watch in a movie one day, and you're going to shake your head and say, what could have been? And that is really, really sad. Extremely talented. And I hear what RNG is saying too. He says people are upset about a shirtless black man warming up, but mighty quiet about white NFL players wearing MAGA hats and doing the Trump dance on the field. Patrick Mahomes and others got a pass. And I'm not holding Isaiah Thomas responsible for that. He stayed in his lane. Basketball is his lane. I think NFL analysts, black people like Shannon Sharp, though they should be the ones out front like Isaiah's on this issue. Isaiah's concern is with the NBA. But I agree 100% with RNG on that. But in the sense that it should be NFL analysts holding, and other people can, but Isaiah was in his lane. Patrick Mahomes is a disgrace, but he look what he chose. Look so.
Too. So, they have different rules, different, standards. NBA is over here, NFL is over here. And to what you were saying about Jay Morant, I mean, doesn't the NBA have a players association? And within that players association, they have things like mental health, wellness, they have like counseling. And so the question becomes, what is the NBA Players Association doing to support its players when they see that there's some type of unbalance happening somewhere?
You know what else the NBA Players Association has? And do they have these sexual education type courses in which they tell these players, they warn these players about getting all these groupies pregnant. But yet, what happens? So,
Anderson didn't go to those classes. He bypassed those.
yeah, Anderson, he's the guy that carried the safe in Friday. So anyway, no, barbershop, not Friday. Yeah, well, listen.
I mean, for the day, I got more tomorrow. We got a lot more tomorrow. It's a lot going on. We'll see if what happens. We'll see if, to Stacey's point, if Gail gets stuck in space, and we'll see who the number one pick is for the WNBA.
When is the draft? It's tonight. Okay.
ESPN.
Okay. All right. Very good. We'll see. No, it's no question your girl's going to be number one if she's there. But she don't get hit by a boat or something. She'll be. We're going to pull somebody's black card. And you know whose black card we pulling? Shaq. We're pulling Shaq's black card. Yep, Shaquille O'Neal, the giant, the beast. Shaking hands with Trump over the weekend at UFC 314. UFC, right? 314. Many called it a gut punch, right? He's got the platform to push for change, but chooses to cozy up to power instead. Disappointing to see another celebrity sell out for clout. As somebody posted on social media, I don't care that some will say it's the president, so why not shake hands? No, it's deeper than that. Plus, he was also filmed earlier hanging with RK Jr. and some of Trump's cabinet, and they were yucking it up. And this is not the time to be photo opping and yucking it up with them and stuff like that, as they say. With everything that's going on, and I think the biggest thing underlined here is that Shaq has a platform to say, hey, okay, this Trump might be his guy, but as a black man, a big black man that you can't miss, knowing, this is why I have a problem with people who come on and talk about they black MAGA, knowing that he's crushing your people who look like you, knowing that he's crushing women and children. You can't do this. I'm sorry. I am sorry. The biggest statement could have been made if because you know how Trump also was filmed over the weekend. RK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, who played on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, how he shunned her so publicly in front of RK Jr. too. And people were talking about that, but Shaq could have done the same thing, and it would have been a powerful statement.
They are.
And look, Mike V says exactly right. He says, I don't recall black athletes during the civil rights movement shucking and jiving with Jim Crow advocates. And that's the point. So Shaq, no cookouts. Plus, it costs a fortune to feed that big guy anyway. He's not getting any. I don't have enough hot dogs for him.
The military parade.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He going to,
Come on, son.
he don't do cookouts no more. He go to Klan rallies.
Yeah, Tiger Woods. Did you see, by the way,
On his 79th birthday.
Oh God! Did you see it on the Trump folks, the White Lotus? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! They really went in. Trump talking about he's suing 60 Minutes. He might wind up suing Saturday Night Live after that one, because you got to see it as a special appearance by Vladimir Putin in a very, very interesting way. And Marco Rubio, oh, God. They nailed it. Okay, they all nailed it. But anyway, we got some black, not black, but Black history moments. On this date in 1775, the first abolitionist society in the U.S. was organized in Philadelphia. And you got to understand the history a little bit. In the mid 1600s, Philadelphia was a bustling port for enslaved Africans. The city was also a place where the abolition movement saw its beginnings. The first document drafted in support of giving enslaved Africans their freedoms was created in 1688 by 4 German Quakers in the Germantown section of the city. By the 1700s, more documents were drafted and newsletters in support of abolition were publicly printed and published across the nation. Of course, later on, a guy named Anthony Benezet, who was a French abolitionist, migrated to Philly with his family and started this movement there in Philadelphia.
Abolitionist. Could you be an abolitionist?
Who, me?
Mhm.
Shoot, I'd be abolishing everything. You put it in front of me, it's abolished. Put some macaroni and cheese in front, I'm abolishing it. It's okay.
The more the direction we go in, the more I'm thinking about it. I used to think my friend Dr. Melina Abdul was an abolitionist, but the more things continue to move forward, I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But another Black history fact on this date in 1955, Elston Howard became the first African American to play for the New York Yankees 1 decade after Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color line. Now, before the Yankees, the most storied franchise in sports history, Howard played for the Negro Leagues. Later, he became the first African American to win the American League's Most Valuable Player award. I think this is one of those stories like you were talking about when I was talking about LeBron James going to Miami, and you brought up the sports athlete that did it first. And so this is another hidden athlete that I didn't know about. So salute to Elston Howard.
And our Black-owned newspaper of the day, drum roll please, the Black-owned newspaper of the day is the San Bernardino American. The newspaper is the oldest adjudicated locally owned minority newspaper serving the Inland Empire in California and serves as a community information source and resource. It was adjudicated a legal newspaper of general circulation on September 30th, 1971 by the Superior Court of San Bernardino County. It is a member of the California Newspaper Publishers Association, of course, the National Newspaper Publishers Association as well. And the newspaper's mission is to serve its readers by presenting news, unbiased and objective, trusting in the mature judgment of the readers. And in doing so, it strives to achieve a united community. The San Bernardino American is our Black-owned newspaper of the day. And go to their website and check them out.
Where I'm at, LA County, next county over. Hop on over. But anyway, for San Bernardino, or if you want to know what's happening in Chicago, Texas, DC, from the Black perspective, all you have to do is head over to blackpressusa.com, where they are bringing you the headlines. Look, today they're talking about GLP votes to cut Medicaid, feed billionaires. So tons of stories that are important to us. And there's also stories that uplift our culture. So head over to blackpressusa.com.
And thanks for watching, folks. We will be back at it again tomorrow. See you then.